All right as my stream starting soon music here is wrapping up, more just coming out of nowhere. The 48-month resub. 4 years. Yeah, notification. They're like, my GPU needs to be updated, yada yada. It's fine. It's whatever.
Stop. You violated the law. Pay the court a fine or serve your sentence. Your stolen goods are now forfeit.
Why did it say OR and not OR? There's not even a space there or anything. It just said it as OR for whatever reason. Maybe when it's capitalized like that, it assumes that it's referring to OR, like an operating room or something. I don't know. Is my game capture set up to the right thing? What was the last thing I was streaming on PC? It was Dark Deity 2. Yeah, let me just set that to the right thing, Bob, here. Like that, and we have the video game and stuff. I greatly appreciate the 4-year resub, Mortis. I know you can only use the Prime sub in one place each month. Appreciate you using it for 4 years. My goodness gracious. Yeah, so the official announcement of Oblivion Remaster tomorrow. Watch it come out in time for Megaland, and then I end up going like ham on that during that upcoming event or something or other. Anyway, episode 2 of the show here came out yesterday. I would have streamed yesterday, but I needed to be up like pretty early today because I wanted to get my truck to the shop at a decent hour. I had an appointment to bring my truck in for repairs today, so it is now out getting its transmission put back in, among other things, and I'll hopefully be able to pick it up around the end of the week, and it'll be functional and stuff. So I got up early and like had Easter dinner with family over the past couple of days. My mom's side on Saturday and my dad's side yesterday on Easter Sunday. And you know, so it was a little bit of a late day, and I was like, I don't have time for streaming tonight, especially after like just watching episode 2. I was like, yeah, I'm getting up early tomorrow to go take my truck in, so I'm going to sleep. So I went to sleep. Got up today, took my truck in for repairs. I think I looted this already, but I think that it doesn't save that I loot things, as I found out last stream, so I'm gonna give it a quick once-over while I'm here. So, yeah, I did that, took that in, but I was like, okay, I want to stream this today. I can't go super late tonight. It is currently 7:07 p.m. This is not going to be one of those all-night kind of streams, but I'll go for a few hours here because I have to be up at a decent hour tomorrow to head out of town along with my dad to go help out my grandparents and stuff. Is what I gotta go do. Maybe everything is properly loaded. Maybe it actually did save it this time. So, no super late night tonight. But I could stream for a little bit, and I figured, alright, I'm streaming Last of Us tonight. I want to talk a little bit about episode 2. So, first off, is it still better than the game in my opinion? Yes, it is very much so. So, episode 2 actually starts basically where the game starts. Where, like, not exactly one for one, what with, like, the game having, like, the whole scene of, like, Joel with the guitar and Ellie, like, many years ago before it jumps to the present. But in terms of where it is in the present of, you know, Jesse's waking up Ellie, and there's gonna be a patrol happening and stuff. Yeah, there is still some other stuff. That's basically where episode 2 picks up, and, so you could argue that episode 2 was basically the start of the game, and all of episode 1 is just several of the flashbacks and brand new scenes that are exclusive to the show that help illustrate Joel's character a bit better. Ooh! Yeah, it didn't save that I that I looted this, so it's good to give it the once-over. My saves are meaningless in this game. Ooh, yes, please. Is everything all loaded up? Let me just make sure here. That stuff definitely will be. I have lots of rounds for this, so it's probably all loaded up. Yeah, we're good. We'll see if it still takes, like, 2 button presses to actually fire the darn thing. So, that scene happens, and it's basically one for one with the game. Like, with the lines and stuff. I don't remember the exact lines from the game, but it seemed pretty darn one for one. Don Fiocchi. So that's pretty similar, and then Ellie and Jesse end up going towards the restaurant where they're gonna meet Mr. Dudo, who's apologizing and giving the bigot sandwiches in the game. Except they're no longer bigot sandwiches in the show. They're not actually referred to as anything. And by having, like, the dance hall scene at the beginning of the story with episode 1, as opposed to, like, towards the end of the game, like I'm pretty sure we have in the game version here, it very much recontextualizes that scene where he's, like, apologizing for his behavior the other day.
In the wrong time, man.
'Cause, for his behavior the other day. 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 'Cause, for his beha and, you know, showing those sandwiches as an apology. And both in the game version and the show version, it seemed like he was, like, pretty genuinely apologizing. He seemed pretty sincere. It did seem like, I forget her name, but Tommy's wife kind of coerced him into apologizing, or maybe gave him a little bit of a stern talking to and making him realize, ooh, that what he did was kind of messed up and stuff like that. He blew his brains out finally? Wait, what? What? Yeah, what now? I got like some skizzers, I guess. But yeah. Oh, Joel, yeah, sort of. I mean, it was golfy in the game, and it was golfy in the show. And I'll probably get to that shortly, but the short version here is in the show version, rather than the killing blow being the golf club, like, blunt blow to the head. Instead, at that point, the golf club had split in two, and now was like a sharp object, and Abby stabbed it through his neck. It was the killing blow in the show. It was like, holy shit. Well, that's different. So there's a difference there. But anyway, by having the dance hall scene first, it very much recontextualized Mr. Dudo apologizing and seeming sincere there, and, you know, Ellie not really forgiving him and not having any interest in the sandwiches. It is pretty hardcore. But yeah, they killed Golfy. They did.
I'm out of ideas.
Well, I'm still exploring. I'm sorry, Azurnotary. I know that you're your favorite character, but in the show they killed Golfy. Golfy sacrificed himself to kill Joel. That's what happened in the show version. Anyway, the guy, I don't know what his name is because he's not really important to the story. But the guy that was like, hey, this is a family event. Can you guys, like, not be Frenching it? What the heck? I was, like, falling. Hold on. Well, it's not going to do it again. No, it's not going to do it again, I don't think. Where in the game version, you only get to see what he actually did towards the end of the game, if memory serves. I don't believe we've seen the scene yet in this playthrough. I'm pretty sure it's towards the end of the game, if I remember. But since it's in episode 1 of the show, you actually know what it is he did. Yeah, there's no more bigot sandwich. So, in the show version, because you've seen what he did in episode 1, you know, like, you know, he stepped over a line, he said something messed up, and that wasn't cool of him. But it's not like he did something unforgivable, like murder her dad or anything. Like, in the grand scheme of things, it's not really a super big deal, I wouldn't think. It's the kind of thing where if someone is, like, apologizing sincerely, you would think that you would be able to forgive them and be like, hey, let's try to not have that happen again. But, you know, I appreciate the sincere apologies.
Once things are wrapped up here.
I guess at some point it'll get pretty hard to hide it. Do you know if she's gonna keep it?
I'll let them talk a little bit. So in the show version, you know what he did and know that it's something where it's like, okay, yeah, that wasn't cool of him, but it's not like it's something unreal, unforgivable kind of thing. What? Oh, sure. I'll do that. So by Ellie not forgiving him, you kind of get a little bit of a foreshadowing for her unforgiving nature. So that kind of alludes to, hey, if something actually big, serious, important happens, like someone murdering Joel, you know from, like, this prior encounter with the sandwich guy, whatever the hell his name is, that she is not gonna be forgiving him, and she's gonna be a lot more relentless when, you know, this dude stepping over the line at the dance hall is like, hey, I'm not even really gonna address you, I'm not even gonna pick up these sandwiches that you made for me, you know, stuff like that. So it is very much like Joel with the therapist and the talk with Tommy's wife about, like, looking after their own first, where it was very reflective of his character, except in this case it's very reflective of Ellie's character in terms of, like, unforgiving nature and kind of alluding to how she's going to feel when someone actually does do something unforgivable. And so I thought that that was, like, some good use of foreshadowing in the show version. But in the game version, you don't actually find out what he did until, like, towards the end of the game. And at that point, you've basically completely forgotten about it, like I did when I played casually. So when he gives the sandwiches at the beginning of the game and it's like, hey, I'm really sorry about what I did, here's some sandwiches, and Ellie's like, here you go, bigot sandwiches to, there he is. It doesn't really strike you all that much because you don't actually know what this guy did. Is it something that is unforgivable and Ellie's attitude is justified? Or, like, was it something where it's not that big of a deal and Ellie's just being, like, a bit of a bitch here? the game doesn't give you the context to understand until like towards the end of the game, where her unforgiving nature is already like very evident by the story events, and like you no longer care about like this guy and the sandwiches. Like it doesn't matter at this point anymore. So by doing it first, it shows like this very minor situation and the outcome of the minor situation to kind of foreshadow that unforgiving nature and allude to how she may act when something more serious happens. But by handling it in the order that the game does, it doesn't
It's right next to that
matter.
place
And it's kind of frustrating.
Has the same info.
And I never would have noticed that, like, playing the game casually about it, kind of
Looks like we're
alluding to
swimming.
unforgiving nature. Because I pushed it out of my mind when I don't know what Mr. Guy did. Because by the time that you find out what he did, you no longer care and you already know enough about Ellie's character and being unforgiving and stuff like that, that it's inconsequential at this point. So, the whole, I'm not gonna forgive you, here, bigot sandwiches and stuff, I assume was the game trying to, like, foreshadow her unforgiving nature, but I never put those pieces together until I watched the show. So, I feel like the order of events is really helping me understand what they were going for a little bit better, because it does feel kind of pointless in the game version when it's revealed towards the end. Spoilers.
No.
Anyone cares. Like, I don't get it there. But yeah. OT, so the Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 is going to have Zelda Note app integration with features such as GPS, audio log, gacha dailies, and gacha pull. One of the item pool is a weapon fixture. Oh, interesting. Manhole. But yeah, old man gonna feel so bad. At start, he stopped 2 lesbian kisses. At the end, he lost many youth and the 2 lesbian out of the community. Wait, he lost many youth? What does that mean? Oh, I think this is a one-way drop down. So is there anything else here first? Story pacing gives the impression of just make them ask why the whole time. It's brilliant, not realizing that mystery does not work like that. Yeah, that's...
After you.
That is very much what I feel here. Like, if you're asking why and, like, putting together a mystery, like, it's a mystery game, like, here's a game that I've never actually played before, but I've heard good things about in this regard, Persona 4, where it's like, who's the murderer here? Who's the one responsible for all this stuff? And you have to, like, go across the game, like, putting the pieces together. What are games that I've actually played that are good examples of, like, piecing together the mystery? Here's a minor example, maybe something like Metroid Dread, where it's like, who is Ravenbeak, or whatever his name is, I don't remember. Who is this guy, and, like, are the Metroids still around? Are the X-Parasites still around? So then you have, like, the big reveal of, there is still one Metroid that exists. It's Samus Aran. And it's like, oh, damn, and that does make sense, and now she has Metroid powers, and whoa, you know, like that kind of thing where it's like, there's a little bit of mystery and interesting payoff. Whereas, with the pacing in this, it's like, you know, Abby kills Joel, and you would presume logically, just from having seen, like, a fair amount of stories, that it would have some sort of connection to the climax of the end of the last game. Like, you don't just have the climax be him murderizing a whole bunch of people, lying about it, and then that not being the thing that comes back to bite him. Especially when there was allusions to his death in the first game, where he's like, I'm getting old, I won't be able to, like, do this much longer, I'm gonna mess up, Tommy should take you to Salt Lake City instead, you know, that kind of thing. So it was gonna be, like, very natural for Joel to die in part 2. And, of course, like, it would be very connected to have, like, the climax of the first game be the thing that ultimately led to it. And yet, they abstract that, they don't share that, abstract probably isn't the right word, they hide that, like, ooh, who is this girl, who is Abby, what's her motivations, where it's like, really? And, you know, I guess spoilers for the game here. Did I get a new bullet? Oh my god, I did. I don't know when that happened.
Hey, up here.
Oh, maybe I should go through that other way first. So, when the game actually reveals, like, yep, she's a ex-Firefly, it's like, yeah, that was not at all a surprise. It's not like it's a massive payoff or anything like that. It's like, nope, that is literally the only way the story could have gone while it still made sense. Did I accidentally just go down, like, the one way first? No! Oh my god, I did, didn't I? I hate this game, man! I did go down the one way first. I can't go into there and get this stupid loot now! Oh, I'm trying so hard to go down, like, the optional ways first. and not just immediately jump down like the one-way things. And I just cannot stop for the life of me. Gosh dang it, man. I found out when I was testing some stuff on my own time that you can actually load a game from like wherever that you've played before. I don't know if it would have counted as like a checkpoint earlier. Like if I did this, it would just start me at the beginning of that. There's no freaking point, man. Damn it. Well, I missed however much loot was in there. But yeah, so the storytelling order is definitely to its benefit there. And there's more touched on about Joel and Ellie's relationship before Joel's death in the show version. Both with like episode 1 and some of the new exclusive scenes. I hate this game, man. Gosh dang it. Well, hopefully that's not too important over there. I hope. Why? Why is it a one-way? Just let me go back and grab this stupid thing. And in the show version, they added a few new things in episode 2 as well, so when the game opens. So, Ellie and Jesse are talking on the way to the restaurant. Is that the one-way first? Is there... Oh, man.
Think you can get through there?
And,
Let's see.
in the show version, rather than Ellie going patrolling with Dina, I guess they decided that they didn't need to do that because, like, they already went patrolling together in episode 1 with, like, the shop scene. Instead, it's Ellie and Jesse that are gonna go patrolling together in the show. And, Ellie's like, no thanks, I think I'd rather go patrolling with Joel.
If you told me you were leaving.
Which tells us that, like, she has a complicated relationship with Joel, but still wants to, you know, be with him and stuff.
I looked up to Joel. What happened to him was messed up.
Doing pretty alright, Emerald Finder. How's it going? Oh, I grabbed a thing.
Joel liked you a lot.
Did it disable the thing? What? On. It's not showing me the things I'm picking up. Did it somehow disable that? Because I did not disable that before this stream. No, not that. No. Pickup notifications. That. Why did it revert it? I didn't... Last of Us PC moment?
You know.
Yeah, exactly. As what it be.
I used to think I had a crush on you.
Really?
Oh. Oh. Okay.
I mean, you're handsome and whatever, but I'm not into your type.
What? Asians?
Yeah, that's obviously what I meant.
I do quite like Jesse as a character, honestly. He takes kind of a sarcastic, serious tone, but he's always going to be looking out for his friends and trying to, you know, take the analytical, responsible approach. There's my notifications down there again now. Anyway, so in the yeah, in the show version, Ellie and Jesse are going to be the ones that go patrolling, and
Fungus in the kids section.
Ellie actually wants to go patrolling with Joel. In the game version, it makes you question, like, does she want anything to do with Joel anymore? Especially as you get, like, flashbacks revealing more, and, how do I, is this the thing again? Do I, like, hold tab?
It's about these space marines who fight off alien ghosts.
I don't remember how to access the journal, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Sounds like something you'd like.
Real isn't how you are made, said the skin horse. It's a thing that happens to you when a child loves you for a long, long time. Not just to play with, but really loves you. Then you become real. Does it hurt, said the rabbit. Sometimes, said the skin horse, for he was always truthful.
Yeah, well,
when you are real, you don't mind being hurt. Joe with an extra L. I know you're upset. What if we talked like this for a bit? Would that help? Okay. Didn't mean to grab you like that. I hope I didn't hurt you. Even mommies are scared sometimes. I'm okay. I'm really scared too. I get how angry you are. I miss him too. But you can't scream like that. I just want, I know. I love you very much. I won't let anything happen to you. I love you too. Have good news in the US for once? Being? I may not have heard. Or maybe I have, and like saying will remind me here. Anyway, so in the game version, we don't really know if Ellie still wants anything to do with Joel, especially as like flashbacks continue to, you know, illustrate that. And it makes you scratch your head like, why is she going out on this journey for revenge if like maybe she didn't even necessarily like Joel anymore and, you know, found out the truth and all that stuff. Like, what's up with that? But she still wanted to be close to him? Is there, like, some other reason behind her revenge, then? And it makes you feel like there's gonna be, like, some big reveal for what her motivations actually are. At least, in my opinion, that's the way that I felt. But no, there really isn't. It just is revenge. Even though she perfectly understands the, like, understands Abby and the group's motivations and all that. She still wants that revenge. When you don't really understand the relationship between her and Joel. The show version does a better job, as she still wants to, like, go and do things with Joel despite their complicated relationship. And Jesse asks about that in the show version. Like, did they sort everything out? Is everything cool with them? And Ellie's like, no, everything's not cool with us, but, you know, I'm me and Joel's Joel, and, like, we get by and stuff like that. You know, leave us alone. Like, we figure it out. Illustrating that they have, like, a complicated relationship, but there is still, like, a deep-seated love for one another.
Oh, yeah?
And, when she expresses wanting to go on the patrol with Joel, she says something about, like, a father-daughter kind of bonding thing. Expresses interest in that. So, the show doesn't reveal yet either whether she knows the bombshell that Joel dropped. You know, very heavily implies, I think I go up the escalators here, and illustrates that while they have a complicated relationship, they still have, like, a very deep connection and love for one another and want to be with one another. The show does a much better job of expressing that. Whereas the game makes you question, do they still have a deep-seated love for one another, or is it not? Is there a different reason for trekking out on this journey? And
what happened up here?
When that turns out to not be the case, it is just revenge. So I don't know why the game hides that. So I think that there is a much greater understanding expressed by the show version that I very much appreciate. Supreme Court made a 9-0 ruling for bringing him back. Oh yeah, I have heard about this from El Salvador that was wrongly deported. Trump ignored it, so now the Supreme Court is opposing Trump altogether, freezing the deporting of people completely. That was the part that I haven't heard about yet. Because I know that, like, Trump ignored the court order. And, but now that the next steps are being taken, that's pretty good. My Supreme Court is highly conservative right now, so for this to happen, especially because they had an emergency ruling and staying up till 2 a.m. despite being fossils, really shows they are not happy right now. Yeah, you just cannot be defying the court's orders there. And there's a lot of people that are very, like, going into political talk now. There's a lot of people that really, really support Trump and are, like, good to him for not taking anyone's shit and, like, you know, doing what he feels need to be done and not taking anyone else's orders. But imagine how those same people would feel if, like, a radical left government was doing that and ignoring court orders and, you know, doing anything they felt like doing. Like, my goodness, they,
Blood's still wet.
they would not be very happy.
Let's get back to the street.
Yeah.
But let's praise Trump for doing that. Anything over here? Yeah, anyway, politics kind of stuff. Yep, absolutely. System is absolutely there for a reason. Ooh, some more skizzers and stuff. Make some more arrows at some point here. What we'll do. But yeah. Yep. Ooh, sure. Grounds for some real escalation to happen. Hell, this is already unprecedented in the US. Yeah, it is gonna be interesting to see how the next several months play out and stuff. Is that yeah, definitely some big problems. Ceasefires, are you referring to like Ukraine and Russia? Talks that have been happening there.